So, a few days after my son recovered, my wife asked me, "How did you get the money for the ENT?" And I'm sitting there thinking, why is she asking me this now? Because here's the thing. A few months back, I made some money for the first time in a very long time from a freelance gig. 4,000 beautiful American dollars, to be precise. I didn't tell her anything the job because I didn't want to get her hopes, and if it doesn't go through, you know how that goes, especially when you're broke. I've learned the hard way to avoid instant gratification, so I kept my mouth shut about the whole thing. Until I got paid. When I finally gave her that $4,000, I thought she'd be excited, or relieved, or surprised. But do you know what she said? She said, "Oh." Just, "Oh." And that was it. So when she asked me how I paid for the doctor, I was surprised she was even curious. But I told her the truth, that I returned the shoe and got a refund. And since we were on the topic, I asked her, "How did you get the money for the shoe in the first place?" She didn't answer. She just got up and left the room. Now, my wife doesn't do that on good days. She doesn't just walk away from questions. So I knew something was up. I waited a few minutes, let her breathe, and then I followed her. I didn't come in guns blazing or angry or demanding. I just asked again, gently, "Where'd the money come from?" She looked at me for a long time, and then she told me. There's a man, someone she met during her PhD studies abroad. She'd already told me about him before, even showed me pictures, but I didn't think much of it at the time because, honestly, I didn't want to think much of it. My insecurities were already through the roof. I'm barely holding it together as it is. And the last thing I needed was to start getting ideas about some guy halfway across the world. But didn't know he occasionally sends her money, or how long it's been going on. And the money for that $9,000 shoe? It came from him. So let me get this straight. Another man gave my wife money, and she used that money to buy me an expensive pair of shoes because I haven't bought myself anything in years. I returned that shoe, got the refund, and used that money to pay for my son's medical bills. And now I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I'm supposed to feel about all of this. Here's what I didn't understand. Why was it so hard for her to tell me? I mean, I don't understand. Why didn't she tell how she got the money for the shoe the day she gave it to me? If it's innocent, if it's just a friend helping out, why did she leave the room? No man would give money to another lady to buy expensive things for her man. Even simps won't do that. So why did she hesitate? I kept my cool, didn't ask, didn't push. I wanted to ask, why is this guy sending you money? What does he want? How often does this happen, you know? But because I didn't want to know the answers, and was terrified of what I might hear, you know what I did instead? I hugged her. I thanked her. And I told her it's the thought that counts. Told her she still sees me as her husband. Otherwise, she wouldn't have bought me that shoe. And I meant it. I did. But I also said it because I needed to believe it. I don't know if my father had times like this. It is grown folks' business, and I don't have the right to know. But I do know he spent his majority of the 30-something years I've known him trying to be enough, trying to provide, trying to keep his family together. And I watched him become quieter every time he couldn't. I'm 33 years old. My wife used the money another man gave her to buy me a gift because I can't afford to buy myself anything. And when I found out, I swallowed it. I didn't demand answers. I just said thank you and moved on. Because that's what you do when you're already at the bottom. You don't risk losing the little bit you have left. My father did that too. He stayed quiet when he should have spoken up. Like the time his elder brother accused him of something he didn't do, and he wept. He cried because he'd spend less admitting it than spending what he can barely afford while trying to prove his innocence. And it ate him alive. I'm doing the same thing. I know I am. And I don't know what to do about it. Here's what I'm really scared of. I'm scared that my wife looks at me and doesn't see a man anymore. I'm scared she sees, for the time being, someone she has to take care of because I can't take care of myself. And maybe that guy, whoever he is, represents stability, security, assurance, and several things a girl needs that I can't give her right now. I don't think she's cheating on me. I don't. But I also don't think I have the right to be upset if someone else is giving her options, or even putting words and other kinds of thoughts into her head. But then again, what am I offering her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I smiled, hugged her. I told her it was okay. And I buried the questions I was too afraid to ask. Because right now, keeping the peace is more important than knowing the truth. Right now, I need her more than I need answers. And that's the most humiliating and humbling part of all of this. I used to be the kind of man who asked questions. I used to be the kind of man who demanded honesty, who wouldn't let things slide. But being broke changes you. It makes you smaller. It makes you grateful for things you should never have to be grateful for. And I hate that. I hate what I'm becoming.
If you're in a situation where you have to swallow your pride just to keep your family intact, if you've ever had to say thank you when what you really wanted to say was, "What the hell is going on?" I see you. You're not weak. You're surviving. And sometimes survival means letting things go that you wish you could fight. I don't know if I made the right choice. I don't know if staying quiet was brave or cowardly. All I know is I'm still here. My wife is still here. My kids are still here. And for now, that has to be enough. I'm dad alone. And so are you. Still here. See you next time.